Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Dan and welcome to the newest episode of The Latest Bite. To kick things off, I want to pose you guys a question. Could your cooking oil be fueling cancer? If you don't know the answer to this question, don't worry because hopefully by the end of today's episode, you will. Because we just got brand new data revealed that is suggesting that seed oils like corn, canola, and sunflower may be linked to the rising epidemic of colon cancers, specifically in the age groups of 20 to 34-year-olds. Instead of me yapping about this, let's read the article together. Doctors warn cooking oil used by millions may be fueling explosion of colon cancers in young people. Certain types of cooking oils may be fueling a surge of colon cancers in young Americans, a government-funded study suggests. And that right there is a very big deal. The fact that it's funded by the government and not necessarily interest groups or lobbyist groups that work for big food in the first place. And a lot of the time when you do look into the studies surrounding polyunsaturated fats or omega-6 or any of these seed oils, guess who's funding it? It's the same people who make it. Consuming large amounts of seed oils, which include sunflower, canola, corn, and grapeseed, has long been linked to inflammation in the body. Despite being linked for such a long time, the major interest groups did not want to believe that information, and that is why the AHA have a heart-healthy certification label on the canola oil bottle. Think about that for a second. And before we continue, remember, this is not the full extensive list of the seed oils. There's also safflower, there's also cottonseed, and there's also rice bran. And of course, there's a few others that escapes my mind at the moment, but let's get back to the article. But now, a study analyzing the tumors of more than 80 patients with colon cancer has found that they also raise the risk of one of the fastest growing forms of the disease. Researchers found patients' tumors had high levels of bioactive lipids, microscopic fatty compounds produced when the body breaks down specifically seed oils. These lipids are believed to be dangerous in two ways. They promote inflammation, which helps cancers grow, and they prevent the body from fighting the tumors in the first place. It is the perfect situation. The researchers are now urging people to swap seed oils and instead focus on oils with omega-3 fatty acids such as olive and avocado oil. Avocado oil and olive oil are both great alternatives when it comes to transitioning off of the seed oils, but that is not the full extensive list. There's other amazing and healthy alternatives that you can use, including butter, ghee, beef tallow, coconut oil, and of course, extra virgin olive oil. And one of the things you really want to be on the lookout for when you're buying avocado or olive oil is to make sure they are single origin. Very important, because the more origins involved, the more of a chance they could be mixing it with not just the olive oil you thought you were buying in the first place. America's main cancer and heart disease bodies say there's no evidence that moderate amounts of seed oils contribute to those conditions. But there has been a growing movement against them due to studies suggesting they cause inflammation and raise the risk of conditions like heart disease and diabetes. Of course, these corporations or these groups will be against this growing amount of evidence because if you look even at the American Heart Association, look at who their biggest donors are. It's the companies that make the statins, and it's the companies that provide the cholesterol and all of this omega-6 and inflammation in the first place. Let's continue with the article. And right here, you can check out this graph, and you can see how in the last 20 or so years, colon cancer has skyrocketed. It almost looks like the graph in terms of the value of Bitcoin. It's incredible. And a lot of the times the people are saying, what is causing this? And no one has an answer when the answer is under our nose the whole time. Ultra processed food, too many antibiotics used for absolutely no frickin' reason. Seed oils, I mean, the list continues. But I digress. Let's continue with the article. Diagnoses among people under 50 years old, which are classified as early onset, by the way, are expected to rise by 90% in people 20 to 34 years old from 2010 to 2030. Holy smokes. But don't worry, it's not the canola and it's not the soybean vegetable oil, which, by the way, vegetable oil has literally no vegetables in it, despite the label having pictures of all the different types of vegetables. I need to breathe. Let's continue. Not one cause has been identified, but ultra-processed foods are thought to play a role because they contain fats, sugars, and other chemicals, and emphasis on the other chemicals, that lead to inflammation in the digestive tract. If you don't follow me on Instagram, one of the latest posts that I posted that came from Daily Mail as well was how a Miami gastroenterologist blamed high fructose corn syrup and emulsifiers. So anytime you see guar gum, xanthan gum, you see all of these ingredients that you've never heard of, those are affecting our microbiome, and those are affecting the rates of colon cancer as well. The average American consumes almost 100 pounds of seed oils per year. That can't be right. 100 pounds of seed oils per year. Not per lifetime, per year. Can you imagine having 100 pounds of canola oil? I can't even wrap my head around that. But the truth is, it's the reality. When you go to a grocery store, over 70% of the store is ultra-processed food, which tells us one thing. 100% of that 70% has one of these seed oils in them. And on top of all of that, when you go to restaurants, guess what? They're not cooking with extra virgin olive oil. They're using seed oils as well. It's cheaper, and there's a reason it's cheaper. But think about this. Anytime you're eating food that you are not making yourself, you are most likely having one of these seed oils, and that is terrifying. The average American consumes almost 100 pounds of seed oils per year, according to some estimates, which is up about 1,000-fold compared to the 1950s. What's really interesting about this is that when you look at the graphs, and you start seeing, hey, since the 1950s, seed oils are exponentially higher, 1,000-fold, some may say. When you look at the graphs and you start seeing sugar is exponentially higher. When you start looking at the graphs, red meat consumption is down, saturated fat is down, all of these other things are down. But when you say and you start asking the questions, hey guys, maybe it's the seed oils. Right away, they say causation does not equal correlation. Get a study. Where's your randomized controlled trials? You are not an expert. Stay in your lane. Unbelievable. In the case of colon cancer, inflammation causes cells to constantly split and regenerate in the colon, making them more prone to cancer-causing errors like mutations. Chronic inflammation also suppresses the immune system's ability to destroy those abnormal cells. We now see this inflammation in the colon tumors themselves, and cancer is like a chronic wound that won't heal. If your body is living off of daily ultra-processed foods, its ability to heal that wound decreases due to the inflammation and suppression of the immune system that ultimately allows the cancer to grow. With that being said, everyone, I hope we can now answer the question. Could your cooking oil be fueling cancer? And based on this government-funded study, the answer is undeniably yes. It's time to take health back into our hands. We need to stop listening to these government bodies, these organizations, because at the end of the day, when you look at the funding, who's funding them? The same people we go to at the grocery store and the same people we are introduced at the doctor's office. If you truly want to make a difference with your life, there's a few things you can do. Start looking at the ingredients on the back of the labels. Avoid all of the refined sugars. Avoid the high fructose corn syrup. Start looking up what these ingredients are. There's even apps like the Bobby Approved app that you can download on your phone right now that scans the ingredients and tells you if you should buy it or not. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of The Latest Bite. If you liked what you saw, please let me know in the comments down below and let me know any recommendations on how to further improve this show for you. Without further ado, please share this video and subscribe for more amazing content as always, and I wish you guys a fantastic day.